Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yaakov Nakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. And this is the after lesson, as I like to call it. And we're here again on dailyverses.net. And we got, for the random verse, all right, for the day, we got Matthew 24 and 42. And it reads, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come." And something we should all be familiar with, right? It's a pretty familiar scripture. I haven't got it in quite a while. I haven't gone into that for a little bit. So I said, you know what, why not? All right, just a little short little milk lesson and a good reminder to keep on the minds of the brothers and sisters that are in this truth, right? So this is the same scripture. I'm going to get it in these other three translations. First, we're going to get the New Living Translation. And it says, "So you too must keep watch, for you don't know what day your Lord is coming." And that's true. We know the time frame that we're in. Okay, we know the season that we're in, but we don't know the exact day. We don't know the exact month. All right, and we don't know the exact year. We know the years are numbered. All right, we can't be here for that much longer, right? Because we see prophecy going out. All right, but there's a couple major prophecies that we're still waiting for, and we're still going to wait for it year after year until we get out of here, right? Lord willing. And we got to watch. We got to, view the signs of the times, the wars, the different things that are going on. I just got done watching a YouTube video, just Vegas, all right, and it said that 2024 was was it the coolest year? Or was it 2025? I think was the coolest year that we've had in a minute. But 2024, they said was the hottest at 120 degrees, and they said it's becoming alarming because human flesh begins to melt at 125 degrees. And they also said Vegas is the most rapidly heating city. I guess they did the demographics. And, some of that shit you can't believe Esau with, but I believe this one because every year it gets hotter here. All right, every once in a while you'll get an intermission. All right, you'll have a really cool year, but most of the time it's a really, really hot year. And just today it was 108 degrees, 108, 109 degrees. And we can go see the weather, Las Vegas weather. Okay, and tomorrow it's going to be 110. Okay, it'll be 110 degrees tomorrow. All right, and you can see excessive heat warning. Okay, excessive heat. It's 90 degrees right now, and it's 1 a.m. Okay, meanwhile, if you go and look at Salt Lake, 75 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees here at night. I mean, during our summer, when we get it real bad, we'll go to AccuWeather here and see if we can go into what it's going to look like. In August, average daily highs of 102, 105. No, it'd be hotter than that. It'd be 104. That's gonna be bullshit. Nope. So where are we at? This is August. It's gonna cool down. I mean, it'll cool down as you get a little bit later. What are those? Are December gonna be like 50 degrees? Hopefully. You can only see, but in July, 114 was our high. There you go. 114 high today. Hot. Yeah, it was hot. All right, it's pretty hot, but you see it's gonna be 108, 107, 106 all throughout. So getting hot, man. So like they said, human flesh burns 125. I don't know if that's true or not. That's not something I necessarily want in my browser history. But that's what the forecaster guy was saying, and not the forecaster, but I guess the scientist guy. And so yeah, man, it's gonna get much hot. So that's a sign, right? That's a sign. That's not normal. Okay, that's not normal. That's not the sign of the Earth being at rest. All right, this is a sign of distress. Okay. So the NRSV, it says, "Keep awake, therefore you do not know on what day your Lord is coming." Again, we know he's coming back soon because of all the things, the tumult, right? The people, things, complaining, uproars of the people. the protesting and all this different type of shit, the wars, all right, rumors of wars, nation rise against nation, king against kings, love of many waxing cold. I mean, and people like to go and say, oh, it's been like that forever. It has not been this bad. It has not been this bad. Okay, I remember what it was like when I was a kid. It wasn't this bad. Okay, I remember what I was like when I was a teenager. It wasn't this bad. I remember when I was in my early 20s. It wasn't this bad. None of this was. No, it wasn't. All right, my mid 20s wasn't this bad. It's bad. My mid 20s, it was definitely heating up. All right, because that was COVID. Okay. So yeah, man, it's bad. There's the forecast for you. It's bad. All right. It's like a Family Guy with, here's Ollie with the news. It's gonna rain. All right. Said here's the forecast. It's bad. All right. All right. Back to you. So Amp Bible, it says, be ready for his coming. It says, so be alert, give strict attention, be cautious and active in faith, for you do not know which day, whether near or far, your Lord is coming. And I like this one specifically. I really like the Amp Bible in general. And it says, be cautious and active in the faith. So, being active, praying, all right, praying without ceasing, right, watching, okay, being active, okay, being active, not being a sluggard, all right, look at that word, sluggard. Okay, habitually lazy, idle, or inactive. And this, I'm not talking about, you lay on your couch. Well, you could lay on your couch watching lessons. You can lay on your couch and make lessons. You can lay on your couch and, study Hebrew. You could do, being active in this truth. Okay, being active. Okay, being active, and not literally being active, but being active in the ministry, being active in what you're involved in. Okay, making lessons every single day. Okay, watching things every single day, watching lessons every single day, look at the news, right? All these different things, right? Not, you don't have to look at news. I look at news every day, not necessarily like the news channels, but through Reddit popular and, through threads and all that different type of shit. Yeah, the news is going out, what people are talking about. Everybody's up in an uproar right now about, I can't remember his name, but the so-called black teenager, right, that went missing and then got found dead. All right, with all those white friends that he had. That's a new thing. And before that, you had the Carmelo Anthony, and people aren't happy, man. People are not happy. All right, and Jake finally starting to come around. Worldly Jake's finally starting to come around and realize Esau ain't your friend, man. You have a lot that are coming around, but you lot that aren't. Okay. Matthew 24:43, it says, but know this, if the good man of the house had known in what watch, the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Let's get this easier. Okay. Matthew, New Living Translation. It's simple as it is, but let's get it even easier. All right, for the folks in the back, it says, understand this, if a homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would have kept watch and not permit his house to be broken into, right? But people don't know that. They say, oh, well, if I knew, I would have just, I didn't know, Well, of course, anybody would know. You knew you're gonna get robbed, you went to walk down that street. If you knew when you went down that street your car was gonna pop a tire, you wouldn't have done it. All right. For example, me and my wife ran out to get some food. All right, because we didn't get any food today. We just went to get some fast food, some horrible shit. But it was late and nothing open really. And there was a car in the parking lot, and I guess its battery caught on fire. They had to call the fire department out and everything. It was fucking crazy. Right? It was nuts. Those people went. Do you think those people would have went to that store had they known if they went to that store, their a car would have? Not that they had a choice; that they would have eventually done it anyway, but they wouldn't have, right? So that's the thing. You don't know. All right, you don't know the exactly when. Okay, exactly when, and that's the key, as it says in the New Living Translation. Exactly when. Okay, we know right about when, when the signs that Yahushua are getting close to return, but we don't know exactly when. We can't tell you, oh yeah, June 20th, all right, at 7 p.m. he's going to show up. We don't know that, okay? We have no idea, okay? But we know that it's close, but not quite yet, because we still have the prophecy of the mark of the beast that's got to roll. That's the main, there's a couple other ones, but that's the primary one we're waiting for. All right, that's the one that lets us know we're real close. It's around the corner. Right? So, New Revised Standard Version, it says, but understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. So yeah, man, you would have, you would have watched, okay, or stayed awake, as it says in here. All right, because a watch, all right, what part of the what watch is like an hour? All right, it's a period of hours. All right, first watch, second watch, all right, third watch. And you'd have different people that would watch, make sure nobody bad people are coming into town. There's no crazy business going on. You sleep in shifts, essentially, right? And, you know, if this guy is just one guy, all right, owner, the good man of the house, right, the homeowner, if he had known, all right, in the third watch or in the second watch, you know, that's when he's going to come, you know. It's, you know, first watch, I'll take a little nap during the second watch, and then I'll wake up again for the third watch. Well, if he had known it was going to happen in the second watch, he would have just stayed up. But he didn't, all right? Why? Because he got complacent. He got comfortable, all right? You're not supposed to get comfortable here, okay? You should know that anything can happen at any moment in a time, man, all right? Keeps you on your edge. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. So Luke 12 and 35 through 37. It says, okay, we're going to choose one to read this in. When do I want to read it in? 35 to 37. No, let's get... It's 36. Okay. Okay. A little bit better. I mean, not that it's not good, but this is really the point here. It says, and ye yourselves, this is King James Version, Luke 12 and 36 to 37, and ye yourselves like unto men that wait for the Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, thy may open to him unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. Well, and it says, you know, basically, it says down here in the NLT, put on, I'll tell the truth, he himself will sit them, put on an apron, and serve them as they did sit and eat. Really, which is metaphorically, all right? So they're going to be rewarded with excellency, all right? Salvation, and everything, and forever to enjoy it, man. But those that are, you know, wandering of the mind, they don't know what's going on, they weren't watching, they weren't waiting, well, you're not going to get anything good but a swift kick in the ass that came out of nowhere. All right, well, it did come out of somewhere, but for you, it's going to seem like nowhere. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard, and we all know it's what's getting ready to pop up, but a lot of people don't. Okay, they don't. They're all messed up in the mind, a sober mind state, and that doesn't mean not having alcohol, but sober is a sound, right mind. People aren't in the right mind. They're in outer darkness. They're completely bugged out, and they don't know what's going on, or they're, you know, in the Christian church, or they're just wandering around. You know, Esau, they're not in a sound mind. They're thinking that if there was a war anyway, that they're gonna win it. All right, so they don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay, make sure. So this is First Thessalonians, 5 and 5 through 8. It says, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Okay. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. Now, a lot of people get this twisted and think this is about like, oh, you know, you sleep during the day, you know, or you sleep during the night, you know, oh, you mean you shouldn't sleep in too late. If you sleep in too late, you'll be sleeping during the afternoon, or if you sleep during the day. No, that's not. Some people have to work night shifts and shit. Some people are just night owls. That's not what this is talking about. Okay, so again, that's what happens when you read things too literally. Okay, so 7 and 8. Well, we'll just get it in the New Living Translation. It says, for you are all children of the light. All right, what is the light? Light is represent of, you know, knowledge, truth, and understanding, right? And of the day, we don't belong to darkness and night. That means, well, it's also synonymous that we're not involved in ourselves in wicked things, but, you know, we have, we're filled with light. We're filled with Holy Spirit. We're not out there stumbling around in darkness, all right, out of darkness and not knowing what the fuck's going on, right? Verse 6, it says, so be on your guard, not asleep like others, okay? And this doesn't mean literally asleep in your bed, close your eyes. I can't do this. You know how they do in those cartoons with those, they make them sleep and, that's how they have those whistles that are going out. All those different types of weird noises and shit. They used to do that in like Looney Tunes and shit. You don't really see it in the new cartoons. But that doesn't mean that. All right, you're laying there, you got on that old, 1800s head cap, right, laying in bed. No, it's not talking about literally sleeping. It's talking about spiritually being asleep. All right, not knowing what the fuck's going on, not knowing where you're at, not knowing the time of prophecy, not knowing the prophecies that are going on. All right, not knowing anything. That's being asleep. Not literally being in bed, not literally, being awake or asleep during some part of the actual day. But no, we are of the light. All right, this understanding, this knowledge, this truth, and this understanding through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and filled with light. All right, light, holiness. All right, understanding, all right, through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, not darkness, not knowing what's going on, stumbling around, all right, that's what light and darkness is referring to here. It says, so be on your guard, not asleep like the others, okay, because the other people are asleep, they're spiritually asleep, they don't know what's going on, they have no idea. So stay alert and be clear-headed. Night is the time when people sleep and drinkers get drunk. But let us who live in the light be clear-headed, protected by the armor of faith and love, and wearing as our helmet the confidence of our salvation. And again, this doesn't mean you can't drink, but drinking in excess is bad, all right? Because again, you're never going to be in the right state of your mind, right? Amp Bible, let's see what it has to say. It says, for you are all sons of light and sons of day. We do not belong to the night nor to darkness. So then let us not sleep in spiritual indifference as the rest of the world does, but let us keep wide awake, alert, and cautious, and let us be sober, self-controlled, calm, and wise, which is good, having a steady, being well-grounded, really, and sober, knowing what's going on. Not having impaired judgment, all right? It says, for those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who are drunk, get drunk at night. But since we, believers, belong to the day, let us be sober, having put on the breastplate of faith and love, and as a helmet, the hope and confident assurance of salvation, So yeah, man, plain. It's not talking about, people that sleep at different times of the day. That's not what it's talking about, all right? For those that don't know, it might seem like that, but it's not talking about that. It's not talking about literal alcohol. You have to be sober. That means you can't have a beer and get a little tipsy. No, that's not what it's talking about either. All right, it's talking about being spiritually unaware or spiritually aware. Okay, you're either spiritually aware, all right, of the light, all right, and of the day, or you're spiritually asleep, belonging to the darkness and night. Okay, that's what it's talking about. Just wanted to put that out there because Christians and people of the world and bugged out jakes, they'll try to think that that's literally talking about what part of the day you're awake during. That's not talking about it at all. As a matter of fact, there was actually people in Israel that stayed up way late at night, and all of our bodies are on different time scales, all right, naturally. A lot of people think, Esau has it, circadian rhythm, we all wake up at 6 a.m., we all go to bed at this. No, that's not how it works. Everybody's has a different natural body clock, and you can change it to an extent. All right, but your body's always going to have for example, there's times where I had to wake up early in the morning for certain jobs and stuff like that, but my body, even if I got enough sleep, it was just never ready for it. I go to bed early, and my body was just never ready for it. All right, my body has a natural time. It likes to, do those different types of things. And sometimes, with jobs or different things in the day, you have to fight it, but you're never going to get your full amount of rest. That's just how it is. It's not our rest here anyway, but you're never going to get your full amount of rest. So on your day off, a lot of people fall back into what their body naturally likes. They stay up till 1 a.m. and wake up at 12 p.m. or something like that, or 11 p.m. or 10 or whatever. Everybody has a different thing, and that's because that's what their body actually likes to operate off of, right? Of course, we can't do it with different things going on. Everybody's gonna have that. I mean, there was moon watchers in Israel that would actually watch and make sure when the moon come in, the new moon, and because that's how we tell our times and our seasons that we're in, and Sabbath and everything's based around the moon for our seasons. All right, it was set up there for our seasons, and so you would have people that were up late and the moon's out late. Okay, so anyway, but little bit of extracurricular history for you. So 1 Corinthians 16:13, then we're gonna go ahead and close out, and it says, "Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men." Be strong. So NLT, be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. NRSV, Keep alert, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. Okay? Amplified Bible. Be on your guard, stand firm in your faith in Yahweh, respecting his precepts and keeping your doctrine sound. Act like mature men and women, all right, for you sisters out there, and be courageous, be strong. So that's what we got to do, all right? We got to watch and we got to wait and be strong in our faith while doing so. And Lord willing, Yahweh Bashmi Shai gives us the strength to be able to do so, right? That's the prayer you could do. But yeah, man, because there's far too many people out here, far too many people that don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know what time we're in. They don't know what season we're in. They don't know about Yahweh Bashmi Shai coming back. They don't know anything. Okay, they think that we're all just a bunch of racist, hateful people that don't, we just teach a bunch of false doctrine, and that, we're just black supremacists, even though we have a good chunk of people in this truth that are not even black. All right, they're various levels of brown and even white looking like myself. But it's anything to not have to hear it, because they don't want to hear it. They want to close their ears when they want to put wine corks in their ears and go la 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 la. I can't hear you, la 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 la, because they don't want to hear it, because they don't like it for one reason or another. Hurts their feelings, or it's hateful to them. They're not part of the Israelites, so they don't like it, or it condemns them in some certain type of way. It cuts them in the spirit, so they don't want to hear it. They don't like it, so they want to do what they want to do, and they want to just call us hateful, and you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Meanwhile, you don't get any answers from the Christians, but we don't know anything. Sure. And hey, man, that's why the Bible warns us so much about watching and waiting and knowing what times we're in, because a lot of people don't. All right, the Pharisees didn't. All right, and like it says, a wicked and was it a wicked and adulterous man shall seek a sign, and there shall be none given. Roughly paraphrasing. So yeah, man, you don't want to be like that. All right. As a matter of fact, let's go and get that scripture. Okay. Adulterous, not idolatrous. I thought it was adulterous, but anyway, it's like it. We'll go from 1 because it was talking about the Pharisees. All right. Verse 16, Matthew 16:1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him. Matter of fact, I'm going to read this one in the NLT, okay, because it can make it easier. It says, let me finish it up in the King James Version. It says, verse 2, King James Version, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, he said it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left and departed. Who left? Right there, it says at the end, right? Well, in the NLT, Yahushai. It would be easier for you to see if this one actually had the red letter for its King James Version. It doesn't, but it has it in the NLT. And it says here in the NLT, leaders demand a miraculous sign. One day, the Pharisees and Sadducees came to test Yahushai, demanding that he show them a miraculous sign from heaven to prove his authority. He replied, you know the saying, red sky at night means fair weather tomorrow. Red sky in the morning means foul weather all day. You know how to interpret the weather signs in the sky, but you don't know how to interpret the signs of the times. Only an evil and adulterous generation would demand a miraculous sign, but the only sign I will give them is the sign of the prophet Jonah. Then Yahushua left them and went away. So a lot of people want signs. They want to know, all right? They really want to know what's going on, but they're not going to get it, all right? They're not going to get it, because they don't know the proper way to get it, all right? They wouldn't be able to begin to understand. There's too much, all right? Too many things they don't agree with. And so it's going to throw them all off. So they're just going to die in mystery, right? They're not going to know. What's going on, right? That's the a proverb of the world. What's going on, right? What's going on? Specifically worded just like that, all right? Because you got that quivering lip at the front. What's going on? I don't understand. You're right, you don't understand. All right, hey, tried to warn you, but couldn't get it. So can't do anything more for you than that. But be sober, all right, in the mind. Like the scripture says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh forth, roaring, lying, seeking whom he may devour. Roughly paraphrasing. So just know the times you're in, man. You see things, you should know what's going on. So that's where we're gonna close out. Lord will is edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of this place, Lord willing anyway, so we're just looking forward to it. Lord willing soon, and until the next one, Lord willing, Shalom.